Well, yeah, I'm going to take things from a slightly personal point of view. I think when news dropped about the album, there was a small but kind of audible alarm bell ringing in the back of my head. Because what worried me was the announcement that prominent vocals were going to feature on nearly every song. Because that just made absolutely no sense to me. They, as a band, they'd fought against label pressure to sing on early releases. And I started to wonder whether this change was kind of inevitable, given their new fame. The idea that, you know, you start a band, you become popular, your initial intentions are diluted, you release an uninspiring EP with Leon Bridges.
I like that EP, but whatever.
I don't know. And then continuing that trend for your next record. But I think in reality, I probably shouldn't have worried so much, because singing is a bit more present, but most of the songs just kind of have vocal snippets or conversations floating around in the background.
Yeah.
And it's nothing groundbreaking and it's nothing new. And I think that is actually the problem with this album. I feel as though they needed to go one of two ways with the record, and either make something that's very much song-based, over mood and atmosphere, and radically change the direction of the group, or double down on the instrumental side of things that brought them acclaim. And I think, to be fair, there's evidence on Mordechai that they could have done the former. I think tunes like Pelotta, Connaissez de Face, and Time are definitely kind of more pop or songy kind of songs that work. I think they're pretty decent, but the problem is pretty the album's decent. Kind of lost somewhere.
You're not going to get a job using that kind of language, lad. But carry on.
Yeah, maybe not a pitchfork. But yeah, I think the album's kind of sadly lost somewhere in the middle, and it's not really convincing as a result. It's not a bad record by any means, and I actually really like the first three songs. But I was left, particularly on the B-side, thinking, I feel like I've heard this one before somewhere.
Yeah, okay, well, initial thoughts in this interview process, I agree with what you're saying. I think that they lost in the middle is how I'd put it. Like they've not gone all the way to actually bothering, as you say, to make and write songs, and they've not just stuck with what they had, which was an admittedly successful formula. They've come in the middle, they've diluted both sides, and it's just kind of, as you say, I think the B-side to this record is wishy-washy and pretty forgettable. Yeah. There's one other thing you have to do. You've impressed so far if you want to have this job, and that is a 10 out of 10 rating. You have to give it, well, not a 10 out of 10 rating, you have to give it a rating out of 10, sorry.
Right. Oh, I mean, I'm not a fan of this, but...
You just don't appreciate music too much, man. You just don't. you refuse to like put a number on it and put it in a box. Go on, do it. Give me a 10 out of 10.
In the arbitrary form of Pitchfork, let's go with 6.34 recurring. How about that?
6. All right, so a middling score, slightly above average.
Yeah, which I think is fair.
All right, I mean, I agree.
What are your favourite songs on the album, though?
My favourite songs, I think "Time" is my favourite song, and as you say, that is an example of when they've tried to do more songy songs really well. It has a structure, it has a really nice hook, but it still has the flavour of the guitar playing and Mark's very unique guitar playing in the background. First Class I like as well, the opener, although it's maybe tending towards the wishy-washy side slightly, and then. I like Pelotta as well, but honestly, like the Dearest Alfred, I think that has got to be a song they've already made before. I'm still waiting to discover which one it is, but
it sounds a bit like White Gloves, but just a kind of diluted light version. And I think it's an okay song, but they've made better stuff.
Yeah, should we leave it at that then? Okay, but they've made better stuff.
Yeah, I think so.